Good morning. It is day number 14. It is a Wednesday. It rained last night a couple times, not for very long, but it's supposed to be on and off showers, thunderstorms today. Hopefully not until later in the afternoon after I get my ride in, but we'll see how that goes. Today I am headed towards Buffalo. There are 3 ships that I want to visit today, including one called the Sullivans, which is a World War II destroyer named after the 5 young men, brothers, who died aboard another ship that they ended up naming this ship for. So that should be very interesting. There's also a light cruiser there that I'm interested in seeing, having seen the heavy cruiser over in Massachusetts. I want to compare and contrast the differences between the light cruiser and the heavy cruiser. But I have about 120 miles to go. It's listing it as on the GPS is about 3 hours riding. So I have to get there by noontime and spend 3 or 4 hours on the ships and then head to my campsite, which I think is about an hour south of Buffalo. Okay, what do we have for breakfast? Bagel, some milk, donut, yogurt, grapefruit, and a banana. Should be good. Well, I can attest that the milk and the yogurt made it through the night fine. They both are a little bit warm, but neither one went sour, so everything is good. A little past 8 o'clock in the morning. Very humid. Figure out my way out of this campsite, the maze of loops that they have. My fully ventilated mesh jacket is going to pay off on a day like today when it gets up into the low 90s. It's a little chilly this morning without any liner in it, but I think within the next hour or so it will be fine. The town of Seneca Falls, 1829. There we go, west on 20. There's a lot of farm fields up here in northern New York. A lot like what Route 20 has been. Open farm fields on the left and the right, and a fairly straight road cutting my way across the state of New York into downtown Buffalo. There we go, city of Buffalo. Alright, well, after missing turns and getting a little bit lost, hopefully I can find a spot back here. Looks like a spot right there. And there's one of the ships. Interesting little area here. General Stilwell was born in South Buffalo. Was native to this area. This is a Japanese war map that was taken off of a Japanese officer during World War II. This is a German war map taken off of a German naval officer who was aboard a submarine in World War II. And it shows paths over to the United States and tours off the coast of the United States. Okay. The Sullivans sank about a year ago at the dock, and they pumped her out and have an emergency repair on her right now. And they're hoping to get her into dry dock in the next year. So down below is not open. Really, only the main deck is open, unfortunately. It's a radio room. This is the only ship that was named after more than one individual, the Sullivans. So it was named after all of the brothers. Unfortunately, I can't go in, but this is a picture of all the brothers that lost their lives on one ship. Here we are at the bow, the capstan, the anchors. This is the ship's galley. Food locker. I didn't realize that the Sullivans was involved in Halsey's typhoon. Admiral Halsey got the fleet into a typhoon that he really should not have gotten the fleet into. He took a tremendous amount of criticism. They lost several vessels. Apparently the Sullivans was one of the survivors, one of the destroyer survivors of that debacle. This is a picture of the Healy, which was searching for survivors from some of the ships that had sunk, but you can see that she's like really deep in the water and the waves are pretty fearsome. It's over to the USS Little Rock, light cruiser. It's a missile preparation rack. Blast doors for the missiles that feed the launchers and then close. This is Chief Petty Officer berthing. 63 Chief Petty Officers in this berthing space. The Missile Warhead Handling Room. This area fed 1,000 men 3 times a day. You had 30 minutes to eat. And this is Broadway. Second Division berthing. This berthing space holds 80 men. This is a coffin locker where they would keep their personal items underneath their bunk. This is the officer's mess. Officers even had a lounge on board this ship. Here's another biscuit used for emergency electrical service to the extent that the ship loses power. This is the wardroom galley. Little Rock was converted to a guided missile cruiser 1957 to 1960, away from her World War II configuration, near where the Marines had their berthing space, so they put a museum in here for the Marines. An operating room. And sick bay. that history. This is the brig. This is the first brig I think I've seen on my tours. Pretty tight. Don't think I would want to be in here. Looks like there's space for 5 or 6 guys. No thanks. I believe this is where the Marines had their berthing. Alright, here's the bar bed for one of the 6-inch guns. Officer's bunk room. It's about as cramped as the enlisted. A little barber shop. This is the captain's office. Captain A. Winfield Chapin. Apparently was a naval reservist. This is the upper handling room for the 5-inch guns. One of the 5-inch guns. Looking aft on the USS Little Rock. We'll go down to the Croaker here in a few minutes. Should be the last vessel today. Taking a look at the triple 6-inch guns. I'm going to take a look inside here in just a second. This is inside one of the turrets. That 6-inch triple. Got a mannequin standing back there to the right. And all 3 of the guns are serviced in here. That's a good view of the Sullivans. Here's yet another example of a signal flag locker. Here we are looking forward from the bridge. The alarms on the bridge, collision, chemical, and general. Collision's yellow, chemical's green, general is red. Here in the pilot house with the helm station. This is the captain's sea cabin right behind the bridge. This is a level down below the bridge flag plot where the admiral would make decisions with regards to the fleet that he was in control of. This is Flag Bridge, which gave the admiral a good view, and there's his seat, a good view of the surrounding seas and his fleet to the extent they were within sight. Time to get aboard the submarine. It'll be the last ship for today. Still have about an hour and a half ride ahead of me. It's the USS Croaker. Torpedo room. Looking aft from the forward torpedo room. This compartment looks a lot more spacious than what it really was. It had 16 torpedoes that were stored in here, so while it looks large, the 16 torpedoes, it was a fairly cramped space. Officer's wardroom. Commanding officer's stateroom. Officer's stateroom. Chief Petty Officer's quarters. Control room. Diving control station. Christmas tree. closed up before the boat goes on. So they galley and the enlisted mess.
If I were on the surface, if I was underwater, for example.
Yeah. Do you mind if I film this?
No, go ahead. No, I'm top secret about this stuff.
I know.
It says battery bust. Battery bust.
Okay. Yeah.
We're running. If we're on the surface, we got the diesel engines running, they're turning generators. Then the classic goes off to die. Submarine. First thing they do is they drop these two down to the battery boat because we're now isolating off the generators.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to be running when I shut diesel down.
Right.
Now I'm pulling all my power from the batteries.
Yep. Okay.
Now.
And that had to be done manually. That wasn't done.
What we're doing here.
Yep.
We're changing bus plates because all the power that's being generated goes into this behind this bulkhead right here.
Yep.
That's why we have stops in it. Because if I just get excited, come all the way down, I can put an arc all the way around this.
Okay. Yeah.
So when you come in, you just don't go all the way down through. You gotta hit that stop first.
Got it.
Down.
Okay.
Now, so all actual maneuvering is done right here. For example, if we fired all 6 torpedoes before we torpedo them at a high value target.
Yeah.
Well, now we're vulnerable now because we just used all our torpedoes. We got to reload. If we're doing any fast course changes, those torpedoes just sit on a crib. They're not band clamped on.
Right.
You know, I'm rolling off. Captain would probably at that point give a command if he wants to turn to starboard or port, which way he wants to turn. So if he wanted to turn to port side, he'd give a command: starboard back, port back 1/3, starboard ahead 1/3. So
Yep.
now I just put it in reverse. See where it says astern?
Yep.
Now I got one propeller going backwards and the other propeller going forward. So I
Yeah.
just rotate it
You can
right
rotate it.
around.
Sure.
And then you have on the surface, you have enunciators.
Yep.
All that 1/3, all that 2/3, all back 1/3, just like a Navy. Once we go underwater, we're going to tacks.
Yeah. Okay.
You got to tack at your port and starboard shafts.
Okay. Makes sense.
You at certain speeds underwater. If I come up to periscope depth, if I get below a certain revolutions, like maybe 30 RPMs, we won't cavitate.
Yep. Right.
I start to increase my speed, you're going to cavitate. So he'll give me a command in RPMs. Say, give me 25 RPMs on a port starboard.
Okay.
Then if we go a little bit deeper, I can probably go a little faster without cavitating.
Yep. Yep.
So it's 2 knots, 3 knots, 4 knots, but we're going to do it in RPMs.
Okay. Makes sense.
So, and it's just it's just increasing amperage. Decreasing amperage, or changing polarity, or reverse it.
Okay.
First bunk I had on submarine was this one right here. Had a mattress about that thick. You have a WRT tank, which is when they give you a command to make tubes ready in all respects, they want you to be able to float it down, be able to open the outer doors and equalize the pressure. So.
All right. What a great tour of the Croaker. The gentleman that was the tour guide was an ex-submariner, spent 22 years on board boats. Had a ton of great stories to tell, and not only about his own experiences, but about this boat. So that was great. So heading back to the bike, and kind of lost track of time here. It's a little after 3 o'clock. Got to head south. It's probably gonna take me an hour and a half to get down to my campsite. You can see up top there how she was fitted out with a snorkel to be able to pull in fresh air to run the diesel engines, all submerged. So there we go, USS Croaker, USS Sullivan, and the USS Little Rock. 3 great vessels to visit here in Buffalo, New York.
Follow me.
spread my gear out to try to get it to dry before I put the tent up. Stuff was a little bit damp from last night, and of course all wrapped up in the hard cases. It wasn't going to dry today, even though it was fairly warm outside. Tent footprint was wet and the tent was wet, so hopefully in the next hour or so it'll dry out and I'll then put my camp up. But this is where I'm going to be for tonight. This beef sandwich, salad, some tea, banana, and milk, and then yet another donut for dessert. Seems to be on a donut kick here recently.